Today on TheBootGuy, we are looking at the DANNER Mountain 600 made out of the ENDUROWEAVE fabric in beautiful brown. All right, so it's always a question, how do I start a review on something like this, a new product? Every aspect about this boot is a new idea. The fabric, the construction, just the way it goes together. So let's start it with the way I normally would. Let's talk about the high points, the materials, and the sole, and then we'll get to the fit and where I see it really fitting into place in the whole world of boots today, and guys buying certain types of boots for hiking and just everyday urban experience type wear. All right, so let's start with that sole. So the actual outsole, the rubber material, the black sections of the boot that you see, that's the Fuga Vibram rubber. Now that's an extremely sticky and extremely water shedding type rubber. Now, as it gets colder, it loses a little bit of its pliability, but if this boot is worn in temperate climates where you're going to wear something like this above 40 degrees, you're always going to have a nice grippy, sticky sole. Now, that sole is doubled with an SPE midsole. The midsole is the khaki material you see between the black and the other black section there. Now, SPE is a wonderful heavy, durable midsole material. Now, when I say heavy, I don't mean that it's physically heavy. I mean, it's a heavy duty. There's not a lot of air that exists inside there, so it's got a lot of bounce and a lot of resiliency. And since there's not a lot of air, there's not a lot of stuff to break down. So that means armed with that Fuga sole on the bottom, this heavy duty rubber and that heavy duty midsole, you're gonna get a lot of wear out of this Mountain 600 just based on the sole alone. Now, most of the time when we think of DANNER, we think of American and we think of it being resolable and recraftable. Not the case with the Mountain 600s. These are throwaway boots. Once you wear through the sole, once it cracks, once everything starts to happen in this boot and it just falls apart, it's a throwaway boot. But that's a long period of time. That could be multiple years. You could be into the 5 or 6 year mark before you're ready to just let these go. Because you're not going to be wearing these in the dead of winter, this is strictly going to be warmer spring all through the summer and maybe the first few weeks of fall. You'll be wearing a boot like this. You're going to get a lot of use and a lot of wear out of it. Now, when you pick a pair up, the one thing you're really going to notice is the weight. The boot is exceptionally lightweight and exceptionally lightweight as a pair. Then you're going to look around and you're going to start seeing all these details. Now, this ENDUROWEAVE fabric is really going to remind you of a wool, like a boiled wool, something you would see, a very Scottish heavy boiled wool. It has that aesthetic, it has that hand, and it has that touch to it. But with all that being said, it's a beautiful fabric. It is probably one of the nicest looking all fabric boots that I've seen in a long time. And that's a big chunk of fabric. That's one single piece that was cut all the way around, put together here, and then reassembled in the back. That's one big chunk of a consistent fabric. It's really a nice looking fabric. Now the hardware is D-rings and you get some speed laces at the top, but what makes it really interesting is the fact that all along the front of the boot, you are getting these little tiny pieces of a cord. Now it could be paracord, it could be a polypropylene or a nylon, but whatever it is, it's holding your laces in place to the tongue, which means when you tighten this down all the way up, it's forcing those sections to go where they belong on the top of your foot. Hence, you're going to get a better fit. You're going to want to spend all day in this, and you're not going to lose that whole idea of having a hiking boot on. This thing is not waterproof. This thing is not insulated, so that means it's not ideal for colder temperatures. We already covered that. Because of those two factors, that means it is ideal for those warm weather hikes. That means that you're going to get a really nice fit and you can wear ankle socks. You can wear a wool ankle sock with this and be extremely comfortable all day long. Now the lining material is soft, but it's not so soft that it feels cheap. It's a nice heavy-duty polyester that's got a lot of tooth to it, and it's just got a lot of oomph. You can feel just by running your hand across it and over it that this boot is going to hold up, that you're not going to wear through that material prematurely like you will on cheaper type hiking boots. Now inside, what you find is a basic OrthoLite single density insole. Nothing to write home about, but in a lightweight boot like this with this soft midsole and this great outsole, this is kind of insignificant, but you need it inside there in order to get the right fit. Underneath this though, there is another piece of Poron. It's a midsole that's on top of the insole. So you're getting 2 layers of comfort just on the insoles alone. Midsole and sole, it's all about that comfort with this boot. All right, so let's talk about size and fit. Now out of the box, extremely comfortable, no break-in period. If you're thinking about going out on your first hike, or if you're just a moderate hiker, somebody who just likes wearing this kind of boot, it's probably the ideal boot for you because they weigh nothing, they're comfortable, they're flexible. You can wear them with shorts, you can wear them with pants. You can do whatever you need to do in this boot. Now, the one thing I'm going to say for all you guys who actually are hikers out there who actually buy real hiking boots, this is not for you. This is not the world that you're going to play in. This is really for somebody who wants to start getting outdoors, who wants to be part of the outdoor lifestyle. This boot is an excellent introduction to that world. I found them to be a little big. I could probably do a half size down with my very thin summer wool socks and I would be extremely comfortable. But like everything, I like a little room because I know after that when I hit that 10-hour mark, I don't really want any constriction. So I actually went with my size. But if you're not a boot guy, if you're not somebody who buys boots on a regular basis and you're not constantly trying on different types of boots, I would definitely say go down a half size if you're going to order them online. Break-in period is nothing. Like I said, there is no break-in period. All the materials, all the padding, all the way around the foot, the padded collar, padded tongue, all that stuff just makes this a dream to wear. So that's the DANNER Mountain 600 made out of this ENDUROWEAVE fabric. If you're currently wearing a pair of these DANNERs, whether it's this model or whether it's the other model of the Mountain 600, please comment below. Let guys know what you think about the whole boot. Is it the type of boot you would suggest to somebody who's just getting into hiking or just getting into doing outdoor activities? Is this an ideal place to start for lightweight footwear? Hey, if you want to see some of the detailed photos of this boot that I took while I was doing this review, please swing by TheBootGuy.com. I will have all those photos there. I will also have some other information about DANNER boots, and I'll have links to other videos I've done in the casual DANNER market. Please don't forget to hit my subscribe button below. You know it really helps out. Remember, if you're on Instagram or Twitter, to follow me there all week long. I find interesting, beautiful boots. I take some photos of them. I put it out there so we can have a conversation about the boots. Hey, if you're about to pick up a pair of these Mountain 600s and you just got some questions about size and fit and whether or not this is a good boot for you to start with, feel free to shoot me over an email. All right, until the next time, I'm the Boot Guy. Thanks a lot for watching.